Hello and Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm I Eat Your Face, and in this video, I'm going to be going over my thoughts, first impressions, and overanalyzing the new Loomians. The normal thing I do when we have new Loomians. But anyway, I'm gonna try and not take up a bunch of your time since it is Christmas, or at least when the video came out. You may watch it on the 26th or October 32nd. Yeah. Anyway. So let's just get into it. First up, we have the Holiday Cradle, which, unlike the Kabunga, is actually a completely different variant of Cradle compared to normal ones. Thus, we have this whole variant icon. It is an ice and plant type, and it has 76 HP, 74 energy, 76 melee attack, 43 melee defense, 14 range attack, 63 range defense, and 62 speed. So it's got similar stats to the regular Cradle, except it's melee oriented, and it took off some of its off stat and put it into bulk. Not that you probably cared about this because it's a pre-evolution, but its abilities are the same as its evolution. So it has Parting Gift, it has Clingy, which means it's not going to get rid of its item. Pretty bad ability, honestly. It's a plant type, weak to Slapdown, with low melee defense. So it's like, who cares if you don't get rid of your item, because Slapdown's going to destroy you anyway. And then its secret ability is called Regift, which bounces back support moves used on it. So, like, if they try to use the move Poison on you, you'll use Poison on them instead. If they try to set up Icicle Traps and you come in, you're gonna get Icicle Traps up. Or if they try and set up Barbs, it applies to all the support moves targeting you. So it's a good ability, and so on. But let's stop talking about Cradle. I mean, it's a solid little cup Loomian, maybe, probably, most likely, because it has good coverage. But anyway, let's talk about Festive Fur. Its evolution evolves the same way as the Halloween Kabunga, but no, there is no event Volcaloa of some kind where you cross trade, Kabunga for Cradle. But anyway, Festive Fur, it's basically a Cracaloa, of course, but Ice Plant, and it has the same abilities, and this one happens to be secret ability. Stats are 113 HP, 90 energy, 119 melee attack, 56 melee defense, 44 range attack, 88 range defense, and 22 speed. So yeah, it's a cracked up it's an offensive Cracaloa, basically. With its typing, I don't see it. It's a bad typing, honestly. Defensively, it's weak to pretty much every common type in the meta, except Earth. It's weak to fire, it's weak to metal, it's weak to bug, it's weak to toxic, and Gobademic will rise. Don't get me wrong. If I didn't say metal already, it's weak to that. Brawler, it's weak to that. Dark, just weak to way too much stuff, in my opinion. But the moves it gets are pretty cool. Earthquake is a rally move. And there was a bug where it could get the same rally moves as the normal Cradle. I believe that's fixed. I don't know for sure. You can check if you want. So that's why this thing has Burn Up and Raging Tackle. It's not supposed to get these. But yeah, since this is pretty much a PvP one, I will be getting rid of these two. But anyway, in terms of other moves, level up moves, notable ones are like Sap Plant, Icicle Trap, Bushwhack as its strongest plant melee stab, and Ice Hammer. Ice Hammer is a 95 power melee ice move. 100% accurate, 50 energy. Just straight damage with a hammer, boom. Why the tree gets it and not the Yeti? Don't know, but it'll eventually get to the Yeti, I'm sure. But anyway, it's got solid moves. Earth, Plant, Ice coverage is pretty good. Earth and Ice alone is already very good, and then the plant lets it hit water types for super effective, so I guess that's welcome. But unfortunately, its plant stab is pretty weak and doesn't break many of the water types, so like a physically defensive Luminami literally doesn't care. Cephalops, it's not going to do much, and it's just going to soul drain you and kill you back anyway, so yeah. Its plant stab is not that great, in my opinion, because 65 power just isn't enough. Eventually it'll get stronger plant stab, but for now it's kind of lacking. So you on the support side, you've got Sap Plant, and Icicle Trap to work with if you want to run them. If you want to run it like that. Also, it has Fungus Curse for those for the 2 people that care. Fungus Curse is a terrible move, honestly. I'm going to talk to Jamie about buffing it because, like, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Yeah. So, yeah, typing-wise, this thing just struggles to come in against a lot of the meta. And then, of course, even when it is in, it's got 22 speed. It's the slowest fully evolved Loomian in the game, well, tied with Cradle. But, so a weak defensive typing being, you know, the slowest in the game is just a bad combination. But it does have a good offensive stat, 119, and it has good coverage in Ice Hammer and Earthquake. So, on a Bane of Haste team, which, hey, Brawny Sluggish, 0 speed, that's the point of this thing. That's pretty much the only way I could see this thing being used, viably at least. It'll outspeed everything in Bane of Haste, except a very sluggish Crackaloa. Everything else, though. Everything else. Except maybe a very sluggish Florient. I don't know about that, though. But yeah. Good coverage, slow, needs to be on Bane of Haste. That's basically my summary of this thing. It has a good defensive ability, but again, defensive utility is very oof because its defensive typing is awful. So, yeah. Stall, you know, was shocked when they saw this ability, Magic Bounce, come into the game, but it's on a very terrible defensive Loomian. Like, the only defensive quality I could see from it is the fact that it completely walls to clips right now. You know, immune to Gluminous Roar, resists Raging Howl, and immune to Gamma Pulse. So it's like, what is it doing to you? So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on this thing. Now, moving on to the Roamer, the Metronet of this update. Wobbelisk, it is a pure ice type, and its abilities are Ignorant and Hasty. Hasty is the secret ability. Ignorant, if it just ignores the opponent's stat changes. So if they have offensive boosts like a what sets up and doesn't already destroy this thing? Let's say an Obsidragon has a Power Focus up, or Power Focus Sharpen, whichever one you have. It's going to ignore that. If it has Resilience boost up, it's going to ignore that. If its defenses have dropped because it woke up and it just has less than a neutral defense status, it's going to ignore that and hit it for neutral anyway. So dropping something's defenses with this thing is, when it has Ignorance, just not a good move. So yeah, it just ignores all the stat changes on the target. Then of course we all know what Hasty does. It, you know, increased melee attack, lower accuracy. It does get sharpened, so it can offset it. And its stats: 101 HP, 93 energy, 99 melee attack, 53 melee defense, 106 range attack, 93 range defense, and 65 speed. So it's slow, and it's frail on the melee side. Why both of them this update? I don't know. So what this update brings is a Loomian with Unaware and a Loomian with Magic Bounce, but thankfully both suck defensively. So Stall, I mean, that's my personal bias. Obviously, this is a huge kick in the side for Stall. You know, they would love those 2 abilities on better Loomians, but they didn't get that. So unfortunate for them. But you know, in my head, I'm just going, screw Stall. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about this thing. Pure Ice, again, terrible defensively. Weak to Fire, Metal Brawler, not fun for you. Hasty, oh yeah, let's talk about the moves it gets. By level up, the only real notable moves are Sharpen, Frost Punch, and Frost Beam. Body Slam too, I guess, if you're that kind of person. But, and then what? It's MMs or what? Dodge, Ill Will. Does it get anything else? Dodge, Ill Will. I think that's it. Hang on, let me check. Let me check the documents real quick because well, I came unprepared. I think it's just Dodge and Ill Will. Oh right, Mud Spatter. I'm dumb. It gets Mud Spatter too. Rally moves though. It gets what? Electro Punch, Clay Slap, Rant, Luster Loot, Power Focus, Scapegoat. It's got a lot of options. So the options provided there actually suggest with its Ignorant ability, you could run a more bulky variant with like Scapegoat, Health Amulet, and then you have like Power Focus to set up your range attack, and then you can have Luster Loot for recovery, and then Frostbeam for stab. Or if you want to drop the recovery, you can use Rant, so something like Malamurk doesn't break through you. And because of Ignorant, you will ignore Malamurk's bulk up, so its offensive offensive momentum is ignored, and since, that would be a range set, you're ignoring the defense boost anyway. But I don't know if you can, TP train this thing so that a Malamurk, a more bulky Malamurk can't break your Scapegoat in one hit. I'll have to do a calculation on that, and I guess I'll post edit, on the screen if it actually can take a hit without breaking its Scapegoat, I guess. That's something you can do. But this thing has a lot of coverage, but all of its moves seem to be very lackluster in power. Besides Body Slam and Frostbeam, all of its moves are just 70 power and below. The punches are 70, Rant is 55, Mud Spatter's 55, Clay Slap's 60, Luster Loot's 50. It's just oof. It's just really lacking in power with its moves, and its stats are very average. So, a problem here is if you're running it offensively, obviously you're not going to have the bulk to have your Scapegoat set up if you're running the Luster Loot kind of thing. And if you're bulky, your moves are super weak, so your offensive prowess is going to be dead. You have to set up. And then, of course, add on your lackluster speed tier and your bad defensive typing, and it just makes life hard for this. So, also, I don't remember if I mentioned this, but this thing, it gets Rejuvenate by MM, and it also has Hypnotize. I forgot to mention that. So, yeah, it can heal, and it can put you to sleep if it wants, but yeah, I just forgot about that. Anyway, so yeah, thoughts on the new Loomians? Both seem very lackluster in terms of affecting the meta. Obviously, both could be fun to play with under the right circumstances, but they're not something that's like you could slap it on your team and improve it. They're both things that you need to build around, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just, it's just both of these just seem niche in my opinion. So yeah, very, they're definitely not weak by any means. It's just they're hard to work with. And yeah, so that's basically my thoughts on them. Nothing meta defining, but should be fun to play with. Obviously, I'll do how to use on them. You know what? I won't say the word obviously, because the last time I did how to use was I don't even remember when, but I will be doing how to use on Wobbelisk and Festive Fur, so look forward to that. And if you aren't already subscribed, make sure you are subscribed, have notifications turned on so you are notified when I actually finally post a how to use for once in my life. And of course the extra battles and discussion videos and that kind of junk. Oh wait, I called my content junk. I don't honestly believe my content's junk. So, yeah. Please don't think my content's junk. Actually, I don't really care if you think my content's junk. In fact, if you think my content's junk, let me know in the comments below so, I can actually see if I could do anything into improving the content. So yeah, I guess enough rambling from me. Let me know your thoughts on the new Loomians below. Do you think that, there's a superstar set for them that actually makes them a threat to the, a defining threat to the meta? Or do you think these are just, another Luxor that have no use? Or somewhere in between? I do read the comments, so, leave them down below. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody, unless it's not Christmas for you anymore. In which case, I'll see y'all in another video. See ya.